What is going on, everybody? We are officially halfway through the MLB season, and yesterday we saw the National League win the All-Star game over the American League, and with that, we saw Shohei Ohtani in the lineup, and all around the stadium, we heard Seattle Mariners fans chanting, "Come to Seattle." We'll see in the offseason if that actually happens, but what we're going to talk about today is some reports that we got from Buster Olney, and it really is starting to stir up some noise in trade land, in New York Yankees land, and that's who we're going to be talking about. Buster Olney said that the New York Yankees might be the favorites to land Shohei Ohtani at this year's trade deadline if the Angels decide to sell off, and that is a big if. Obviously, if the Angels come out on Friday and start winning and they're still in contention for a playoff spot, then obviously they're going to keep Ohtani. But, Mike Trout on the IL, if they start losing, their chance at a wild card very much might slip out of their fingers. So they might have to pivot to trade Shohei Ohtani. And Buster Olney said that the New York Yankees are the top fit for Shohei Ohtani. And I don't know if I agree with him or not, because there's other teams that much more willing probably to pull the trigger than someone like a Brian Cashman that is the GM for the New York Yankees. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Excited to get into it. Let's get started. So right after the final game before the All-Star break, the New York Yankees fired their hitting coach and hired Casey as their new hitting coach. That is Sean Casey. He was with the Cincinnati Reds for about 10 to 15 years. He played in the MLB. So they hired a new hitting coach. So they're showing signs that it was not a good first half. And they come out and said that they're not content with where they are right now. So with that being said, they're going to go out and want to get a big fish, maybe like a Shohei. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if Brian Cashman is willing to pull the trigger on a Shohei Ohtani, because that will literally take the entire farm system. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So before we get into what a trade package might look like for a Shohei Ohtani, let's talk about the other contenders that I think are up there with the Yankees to get Shohei Ohtani. I think you're going to see mainly the big market teams go out and trade for a Shohei Ohtani, like the Dodgers or the Mets. I think those are really the two other contenders that are in the way of the Yankees getting Ohtani, if I'm being completely honest. I don't see other first-place teams. I don't see the Brewers going out and getting him, who are in first place in the Central. I don't see maybe the Diamondbacks going out and get him, because, frankly, I don't know if they're willing to give up all of that, and I don't think they have the money to sign him in the offseason. And whoever is trading for him at the deadline, they're making sure they're going to lock him up. You're not trading your entire farm to get half a season of Shohei. I don't think it is worth it at that point, if I'm being honest. So, like I said, Mets and Dodgers, they have the money to do so, to sign him long term. The Dodgers have already prepared to sign him in the offseason, as they didn't sign anyone in this past offseason. So the Dodgers very well could go out and trade for him to get half the season of him and then sign him to a 10 to 11-year deal in the offseason. The Mets also showed very strong interest in signing him in the offseason. So maybe they go out and trade for him. They have the prospects to do it, I think. So maybe you have to get rid of some MLB talent as well in order to get Shohei. But I don't know, for the Mets, it might be worth it as well. Maybe not this year, but definitely getting that trade for him and being able to extend him, that'll be worth it. And as of the Yankees, Buster Olney came out and said they are the top contenders. I wouldn't necessarily think so, but Buster Olney, he is a reliable source. So we're going to have to see what happens with that. So with that being said, let's get into a trade package that it'll take to get Shohei Ohtani to the New York Yankees. So in a trade for Shohei Ohtani, you might want to get back a player like an Anthony Rendon as well. Being that Anthony Rendon is most of the time hurt and he's on a massive contract, the Angels are probably willing to give him up. They probably want to get him off their team at all costs, if I'm being honest. So adding him to that deal might actually make it easier for the Yankees to trade for Shohei. They might maybe take a prospect away or two, being that Anthony Rendon is in the deal. Adding Anthony Rendon to a deal like that kind of unsweetens the deal for the Yankees and kind of makes it, like I said, easier for the Yankees to trade. So let's say the Yankees add an Anthony Rendon to that deal. So it's Shohei and Anthony Rendon. I think it'll still take pretty much the entire farm to get a trade like that done. I think right off the bat, the Angels are going to be asking for an Anthony Volpe. So let's say they add an Anthony Volpe. That'll be a tough pill to swallow for the Yankees fans, but getting Shohei might be worth it. Say you add a Volpe. They're also probably going to want a Gleyber Torres, so their up the middle is set for the next year and a half. So say they got Volpe, Torres, probably going to want a Spencer Jones, probably going to want a Jason Dominguez, and they're probably going to want to add a pitching prospect or two. So say Clayton Beeter and a Will Warren. So that is pretty much all the top prospects in the Yankees system. So it's Jason Dominguez, Will Warren, Spencer Jones, Clayton Beeter, Anthony Volpe, and Gleyber Torres for Shohei and Anthony Rendon. I think that might be enough to get the deal done to send Shohei to the Yankees. Or it might not be. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Maybe you add a prospect or two. Maybe you take away a player like a Jason Dominguez. Or maybe you take away a player like an Anthony Volpe. You keep Volpe. You add Peraza to the deal. Maybe you add like a Brandon Maea, who is also a top prospect for the Yankees. Maybe you add a Roderick Arias. So maybe you can add maybe a 2 or 3 more prospects in order to take Volpe out of the equation. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What you guys think a trade structure will look like to send Shohei to the Bronx. But I definitely think if you're sending Shohei, they're going to get rid of Rendon too. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya.